I've finished activating the non-player characters, so there's been the Frog Prince has come up and has also attacked Nano the Barbarian, and he came off the worse for it, so he is wounded, and two of the Newt warriors are also wounded. So at the end of the turn, one of the things that we need to do is to roll recovery checks. So we're going to do that now. Let's start off with the Prince Croak, the Frog Prince. So he started off with a D8, but because he's wounded, he's on a D6, and he needs to roll a 4+ for recovery. So he's rolled a 1, so he stays in the game, but he remains wounded. So the two Newt warriors, they either recover or they're out of the game. So this first one here rolls a 4. Okay, so he was temporarily wounded and he's back on his feet. And the one that attacked the halfling on the bridge has rolled a 6. So once again, he's up on his feet. And if you remember at the start of the game, Farbella Burrow, he failed a peril, and he's rolled a 2, so he remains wounded. So that is, we can stand this guy up, ready for next turn. And so it's the end of turn, so we're using a turn marker, so we will take one of those out and we're ready to start the next turn. In the second turn, the heroes from the adventuring party were quite successful. So Nano the Barbarian was attacked first by Prince Croaky, and he managed to cause a second sort of wound on Prince Croaky, so he has gone down, and at the end of the turn he needs to roll a recovery check, needing a 4+ on a D6. He's rolled a 4, so he has regained one of his wounds. 2 plot points were solved. Cinders the mage came back and solved the plot point by the boat, and Thorber the fighter was successful at the plot point on the ruined temple. The Aquatic League, their leader attempted the plot point on the rocks over here. He needed 2 successes with might or finesse, but only rolled 1, and so he had to take a health check, which he passed, but he sort of failed to pass the plot point. So that's the end of turn 2. So this is the situation at the end of the third turn. So the Newt Lord, the Newt Lord has been successful in capturing this plot point, so that goes over to him and his league. Over in this combat in the boat, Nano the Barbarian versus Prince Croak ended in both knocking himself out. So they're both down, they both need to take a recovery check. So this is the roll for Prince Croaky, and he rolls a 3. So he is going to stay out for the duration of the game. What about Nano the Barbarian? Is he going to pull himself together? Yes. Okay, so he has recovered one of the wounds, so he's still wounded, but he's carrying on. So the other sort of main actions was Cinders is sprinting to the stone bridge over here, and there was a combat between Farbella Burrows and the giant Newt, and Farbella managed to use his great dodge ability to break contact. So there we are, that's another turn done. Take a turn, counter off, and let's see what happens next go. the fourth turn went particularly quickly as the second character activate drew a card called the Calm, and what that basically meant was that no character could run, rush, attack, roll any shoot or brawl dice for the remainder of the turn. So that meant that that really repositioning was the only activity that could take place. So we have sort of cinders heading up this way over the bridge. We have our fighter character is sort of closing in on the major plot point, and over here we got Farbella the halfling is trying to break contact, but it looks like there's a Newt warrior now at either end of the bridge. So let's see what happens next turn. So sometimes you just can't sort of script this stuff. That Thorber, the fighter, had made it round onto the island and went for the major plot point. So his luck started off really good. That in the solo deck he drew Move Along, and the challenge for that is a free pass, so no peril to overcome. We drew the next card for the plot point challenge, and all that was required was one success with a cunning. And so, well, how difficult can that be? His cunning is 2d6, and he rolled a 1 and a 2. So, yeah, fluffed it. So the Newt Lord finished sort of swimming across the lagoon, so climbed up and charged into contact with Thorber. It was a pretty tough fight. The Newt Lord rolls 4d10 for melee, but he failed to get a wound on Thorber, who fought back with 4d8 and did actually manage to cause a wound. So the Newt Lord is wounded and now needs to roll a recovery check, and he's rolled a 2, so he's going to go into the next turn still wounded. Nano the barbarian over here still hasn't recovered from his wounds, but has now rolled a 5, so he is pulled himself together and is back at full strength. Okay, so let's see what happens next turn. This is the end of the penultimate turn. There's one more to go. So there's been a brutal conflict fighting over the major plot point treasure. To start off with, Thorbar attacked the Newt Lord, and he was wounded. On the Newt Lord's activation, he fought back. They both took a wound, but that actually took him down to being unconscious. So let's roll a recovery check and see if he's going to pull through for the final turn. And unfortunately, he has rolled a 3. So that looks like the end of the road for the Newt Lord. So we have this fighter. The fighter here, he needs to roll to recover his wound, and yes, that was a success. He rolled a 5, so the ouch comes off, and we have another Newt who is down over here on the rocks. Let's roll a recovery check for him, so 4, so he pulls himself together and that down comes off. So there we have it. Take the turn counter off. We have one more turn to go, so let's see how it plays out. So one of the things that I really love about Pulp is just in so many games the drama does really come down to the last dice roll of the last turn. So we've had a bit of sort of action going on, which has actually sort of taken down the two remaining Newts. So Cinder, the mage, one of his abilities is Bless, so he's moved round to get to within 6 inches to give a bonus to Thorber, the fighter, who is attempting to unlock the chest to get at the major plot point. So, like his previous attempt, the first card that he turned, which is for the peril, was actually a free pass. And if you remember last time, he only needed 1 success. So this time, the actual plot point challenge is one of the hardest. So it's 3 successes with Might, Finesse or Cunning. His best skill is Might. He's a mighty warrior on 3d8, and he gets 1 extra bonus dice for the blessing from the mage. So from these 4 dice we need 3 successes to unlock the major treasure. And would you believe it? A 6, a 5, 2 successes, a 2 and a 3, 2 failures. So there we go. The main treasure has proved elusive to both parties. The player characters, the adventuring party, have 2 plot points, so 2 victory points. The non-player Newt and Toad League had 1. There was one minor plot point still in play, and the major plot point. So that means it's a narrow win for the adventurers. So it was a lot of fun. As I say, we've put together loads of downloads. You can download the rules for free, print off the PDF, the solo deck for free, some cutout terrain, stand-up figures, and all of the character cards that we've used in the game. So really hope you enjoy the game as much as I have. Please, if you play it, take some photographs, leave some comments on the comments section of YouTube, and look forward to seeing you later. Cheers.